Hi and welcome everyone. I am Friar Tuck, and today what I'm going to be talking about is the nomad lifestyle. Like, what is it like to be a nomad, and what are the different ways in which you could be a nomad? Because I've been a nomad without a car more than I've been a nomad with a car. Now, Cheap RV Living, if you watch his channel, he talks about doing it in a car. He doesn't really talk about doing it on foot or on bus or on train, because there are multiple ways to be a nomad. It's just how you prefer to travel. For me, I generally traveled via Greyhound. Only recently have I done any walking, like long distance walking, which was the Florida Trail, part of it, and then the Alabama Road Walk and the Pinhoti, most of it, before I ended up getting sick and then ended up here in Cincinnati. But I took the Greyhound from Chattanooga to Cincinnati. I even took a Greyhound from Gainesville to going towards Jacksonville, but ended up getting stuck in Lake City. Yeah, and that's really what put me on the Florida Trail. I've done biking, and biking is its own thing. And I can tell you all of them, depending upon which way you choose to do it, because there are so many different ways in which you can nomad. If there is a way to transport yourself anywhere from your 2 feet to a contraption, that is a way to be a nomad. You don't need to have a car. And quite frankly, a lot of it depends upon your income and your budget. A lot of the people, like on Cheap RV Living, they're senior citizens collecting Social Security, so they have a regular amount of income, and they've learned to live in their car so that they can keep their income to pay other bills and to have other luxuries in life, and give up the one main luxury, which is to have a dwelling, because they just couldn't afford it. Okay, because our senior citizens are being priced out of their homes, and so that's kind of who Cheap RV Living, that's what he talks about. So if you're in a car, that's one thing I would suggest is check him out. But as far as the other modes of transportation, really that's what I do. So when I first started out, I was on bike, and I explored that, decided I didn't like it. Then I went to hiking. I explored that. I liked it, but I had health issues. But the thing is as I travel, sometimes you're going to be in a city, sometimes you're going to be in the forest, sometimes you're going to be on a Greyhound, sometimes you may be on a train, or other modes of transportation, like maybe you afforded an Uber to the next town over. Whatever it is that however it is that you want to travel. And I've traveled all different ways, and one thing that you got to realize is that there's a time and a season for everything. And so even though I should probably be migrating south, I need to get my body acclimated to regular temperatures, because here's the thing. I've been down south so long that all I know is heat, and so my body isn't going to deal with cold very well. So one winter, which is my first winter, I'm choosing to stay up north. Next winter I may go down south, because I just want to experience one winter and prove that I can survive it here. Just because I've done all kinds of things, from Skid Row all the way up to the new Skid Row in Denver. I've been in the Tenderloin. I've been a lot of places. And here's the thing. Most people tell you, oh, it's bad. Oh, look at the news reports. But here's the thing. I'll tell you a story about my ex-wife and I. We lived in a really bad part of town, which is Chinatown in Portland. And this is in the downtown area. And you'd walk through that neighborhood. Everybody was scared to walk through because they were foreign to the neighborhood. But because the people there saw my ex-wife and I walking down the street all the time, she really didn't even have to worry about being bothered, because she became a regular. She was part of that neighborhood. When you're part of that community, you don't have anything to be scared of. It's when you're an outsider and you're looking in and you don't understand it, that's usually where people get scared from. Okay, you're gonna have to go into cities from time to time, and whether it be just hustle up money or rest, because you can't always be on the road. The older you get, the less on the road that you're gonna be. And so hunkering down here till spring and then going to another city, I want to get back out on trail a little bit, and go do maybe a week out there in the trail, and see how I'm doing, and see how my health holds up, and just maybe that might be something I like. But once you get into different cities, there's a different economy, and there's always, you have to be resourceful in the way that you make money. The way that the world is working right now is that you need to have a digital understanding, and that's the way nomadism has changed. So when I first started, you would need to, you could go on Craigslist, you could go, you could network within the community, and they'll tell you spots where you can go find work. And there are people that hire, like in specific parts, that would hire the homeless because they wanted to see them get to work, and if they were willing to work, because they didn't need you very much. It was a couple of weeks out of the month, and that was it. So those type of places would go to the homeless. And because I'm a nomad and I'm not dealing with serious mental health issues, or even if I am, I'm stable enough to be functional, or dealing with a drug addiction, or at least I'm stable enough to be functional. Then that means I'm going to go to work. Very, very small percentage, maybe 20 to 30% of the homeless community actually goes out there and goes to work and works these what you could almost call black market jobs. And it used to be pretty easy to be able to find work and people to pay you cash under the table. Now it's not that easy. One of the things that I have I'm kind of moving towards is because now that I have an understanding that we're in a digital industrial revolution, the way that everything's working is you now need to have some sort of technical understanding. So me as a salesman, that's what I've done most of my life. That means instead of going out there and selling trinkets door to door or business to business, or selling financial products house to house, that means that now I'm going to be helping other businesses sell their product, but instead of actually going and doing demonstration, I'm giving them a digital footprint, because the average person is surfing the internet. They're surfing different apps. They're surfing YouTube. They're searching social media. They're always on some platform on the internet at some point in time. And there is about 10 billion of us. And so with 10 billion of us, and there's about 4 billion users, okay, with that many individuals, I mean, there's always somebody that's going to want your product. And so being able to ship it out is going to be important, to be able to kind of like with my merchandise, it's all middleman. I put my name on it. I get a certain percentage of the sale, and then they get to keep the rest for materials and labor, and they ship it out for me and all this other stuff. Now all I have to do is sell the actual product. And as we get more into advanced robotics, when you're ordering it from the factory, it's being put together by a robot, and there's somebody in that factory that maintains that robot. I'm a salesman. I had to concede that many years ago. So for me, I'm going to have to get into digital marketing and digital sales, and possibly even just some consulting work, because with all the experience of sales that I have, that's usually how I would make my money when I would go from city to city. Is you could always get into a sales program. There's always, if you're willing to do 100% commission, there's always a job open for you, because you don't make money unless you sell something. So you better either be good at selling something, or you better be resilient. Those are the only two choices that you have. And the resilient ones, I would say a good number of them make out, but the ones that actually have some talent, those are the ones that are the more successful ones. Now I'm not going to get into all the ins and outs of sales, because it's a whole culture and community, just like if you were an accountant or a lawyer or a doctor or a secretary or anything like that. But just getting on the digital realm is just something that you're going to have to learn to do, whether it be learning how to use Canva, or learning how to use CapCut, or learning how to do these different things. And even in the future, panhandling, people are going to have their CashApp out, and they're going to have to be able to transfer money that way, because there's not going to be any cash. And there's a lot of stuff that goes on using CashApp, and it's going to end up becoming popular, especially in the underground market. I've noticed that it is a very popular app for everybody to use, but it also has minimal to no fees, and that's part of the reason why everybody uses it. Okay, So, and one last piece of information, if you're planning on becoming a nomad and kind of what to expect, you know, other than learning how to sleep outside and how to hustle up your money and deciding how you want to travel. One other thing that you should definitely consider is that when you do decide where you want to go, because the thing is after a while you're going to travel, and you're going to travel to a lot of different places, and they're all going to look similar, have a lot of similarities, things that you can cross-pollinate. Oh yeah, I like this place. Oh yeah, I like that place. Like, for example, it's the same St. Anthony's that is here is also the one in San Francisco. And I got to talk to the friar who was who actually, he lived there for a while as a monk, and you know, it was something else. But you know, you have a lot of that cross-pollination. So what you really want to look for, the places that are going to help you settle down, is culture that fits you. The first place I ever went to that actually made me want to settle down was San Francisco, because there was so much stuff, you couldn't do it all in a lifetime. There was so much to see, so much to do, some of it for free, some of it cost, but most of it was, you know, good pricing. And you know, you could get all kinds of just, there was so much awesomeness there, you know, plus the fact of the anarchy that was there. I liked it. I thrived in it, because you operate based upon your merit versus your status, and you're treated a lot differently. And then, you know, but you know, when you look for a place that you would really want to settle down in. I did my research on Cincinnati. Cincinnati was it was in the Ohio River Valley. It is one of two successful communes that was ever created here in the United States. It's a very progressive area. There's a lot of history here. There's also a lot of manufacturing here. There's also a large economy here, because they have 2 sports teams in the same city, which is very rare. Not very. I mean, to be able to have one sports team, let alone 2, is a feat in itself. Because I mean, Portland's been trying to get a different sports team in until they finally got soccer, but it's a sign of a city and its ability to conduct commerce, because that's where all these places gravitate towards. And you know, I did my research on Cincinnati. It may not fit a lot of people, but it fits me. It fits what I'm looking for and what I like. And you know, when you look for a place, you're only going to settle down for a couple of years. You know, you might spend 3 to 5 years there, and then you're back on the road again. That's what it's like being a nomad, is because you always got that itch to be going. And you can hang out in a place for a while, but after a while you get tired of the same old, and you want to see something new. And so you're going to go explore other cities. And while you're doing that, while you have that couple of years settled down, take the time and decide where it is that you want to be later on, because maybe you change, maybe the culture changes, maybe the opportunities change, you know, and for you, you find another place that will offer you the opportunity and the culture that you're looking for. That's the life of the nomad, is that you're always on the move, but you do take time to rest and time to do that. That's why you will see me sometimes on a trail, sometimes on a Greyhound, sometimes you'll just see me in one city one day and one city the next. I just kind of go off a whim, and when I'm done with the city, I just move on and go to another city. That is the life of a nomad. So find places that you really think that fit you, and it will make the world a difference. Anyways, you know how to help the channel. Become a subscriber. Other stuff's down in the description. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.